Roofing is fun. Na na na.
Welcome to Roofing University. Today we're here with Joe from Tip Top Exteriors, and he's going to be taking us through the basics of siding. Correct?
Basics, yeah, we're going to do some basic bends. Everything that you need to know about the regular stuff you're going to run into on a new construction house. So we're going to start really simple. We're going to dive into it with some fascia, and then we'll move up to Gable fascia and some corners. And a belt line. And we'll start with that.
What's a belt line? Because the people at home might not know what a belt line is.
Belt line is basically like a freeze board. It'll go across to separate two sections of siding. It's a detail. Usually when you're doing your own custom corners, you'll end up using a belt or a freeze. So this bend will help you out with all that stuff.
A lot of people use the freeze boards when you're doing board and batten style too, right?
Right.
Nice.
So this is basically everything you need to know to do a board and batten style.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's jump on the break and get bending.
Let's get her. Okay, so we'll start off nice and easy. We're going to work here with fascia. When you're doing fascia and you're working with a 24-inch coil, you're going to want to get 3 pieces out of every one. And you want to make sure this is nice and stiff. Those are the 2 things you got to worry about. The rest of the stuff's really easy. This is the bend I always use. It makes a nice tight link here when you link them together, and it's nice, crispy, clean. So we'll start with that. So your first measurement will be your 3/4, because this hem here is going to be a 3/4 hem. And we only do it at 3/4 just because it's easier that way. You can start in one direction and continue the whole way. So go 3/4, 1.5 inches, and then move right up to 8 inches because that's what we're finishing with. So it's easy that way. And then when you go to do the next one, you're going to want to hold over instead of just, so if I go 3/4, I got 1.5 inches. And I move my tape down. If I want to measure something, just kind of hold over, right? Move to an easy number. Okay, so I mark the other side now. I'll go ahead and cut this. 3/4, 1.5 inches, and at 8. And I put a little cross check to let me know that's where I'm going to cut it. We're also going to mark 1.5 inches because we're working with a slitter today, and the slitter is 1.5 inches away from the actual mark. So I'll just circle that guy. All right, so now you're going to close her up. Give her a slice. Stick this somewhere.
Here's a shelf.
Get this out of the way. So this would be where you have your next 2 pieces, but we're going to be working with this piece right now. So your first bend starts at 3/4. So conveniently, your break is 3/4 on the front, so if you line up to there, but you're also going to want to go with your pencil line still. Sometimes the break will swing in and you won't get a true 3/4. You just kind of use that as a guide to get started. Drop my mic. Okay, so first bend, you want to crimp this all the way over, nice and tight. So then you open it up, and you're going to pull it back to your 1.5 inches. Close it back down. And go right on your marks. You want these to be the same size every time because they do have to line up with each other. Then we go up 90 degrees and you're almost done. Last step is close your break back down and crimp your edge. That's a finished piece of fascia. Interlocking them is really easy. I'll show you that real quick. So when you're going to interlock 2 pieces, all you're going to want to do is cut yourself a male end. You rip this off. And then you would just slide this into your other piece. So you get a nice clean overlap. So that's it, basic fascia there. That's a starter. So now we'll move on to gable fascia. Gable fascia will go up the rakes. This will be used when there's no drip edge on the gable. You're going to run into that almost every time on new construction, so we'll go with that next. Okay, I'll go from this side this time. Okay. So same thing on the bottom. We basically do the same thing as we did with the first fascia on the bottom. And then we're going to go up 4 inches. This number here can change. This number here can change. You can kind of do what you want with this stuff. This is just the way that I do it. And it's pretty popular in this area and pretty easy to work with. So first measurement will be 3/4. Then you go 1.5 inches. Going up 4 inches, so I'm going to hold over. I'll bring it to 3 and go to 7. That's just easier to work with instead of going from 1/2 inch. We'll mark our 3/4. And I got 2 1/4. So 2 1/4, I'll just go to the 10, and then my 1/2 inch is the end off. So with a total there of 9 3/4. I go 4 inches, so I'll pull over. Okay, and then I'll mark for my cutoff, since we're using the slitter.
Off track.
This thing's fucking a little bit of a bitch, eh? So same thing on this one. We're going to start by bending the bottom. Whenever we're doing this, we're trying to avoid flipping it as many times as possible. Sometimes we're working on a truck or a trailer, so if I'm doing a bunch of it, I will do the first 2 bends first, and then I'll flip it, and I'll do the rest. It's quite easily flipped. So we got our crimp. We do our 90. Open her up. We'll close it. And that's where we'll spin it around and we'll get our 4-inch measurement. And we're going to bend it at that out 90 degrees, color side up. Flip it over, push it all the way in. That's where 3/4 comes in handy again. You should be right on your last lines. You're going to lose close to 1/8 inch between these 2 bends. And then I come up just a little harder than 90 there. Last thing you got to do is bend a 1/2 inch lip right here. This one we do at 90. So this one will go up your gable. This little lip here allows your shingles to rest on. Because the guys will leave like maybe an inch overhang, and when this pops up against it, now it'll hold nice and tight. Looks great. Nice clean look, easy to work with. All right, that's at the 2 fascia, and we'll go over them at the end too, like we'll have them all bent. Next, we're going to be working on a corner post. When you're doing, say, board and batten siding, and you're going to be needing to use a belt line, it has to be paired with a corner post. It just looks cheap if you don't do it that way. A lot of builders will expect a built-in corner post, so this is an easy way to do it. It's pretty simple. It looks a little bit more complicated than it is, but I'll show you. So, I've already pre-marked this. I'm just going to explain the marks. This here will be your flap, so this is your nail fin. And here's your pocket. So this mark's not really necessary, but I keep it on there anyways. You'll see as we go there, this is your face, this is your other face, and then again your J pocket and your nailing flange. So altogether this works out to 14 inches, 2 inches, 3/4, 3/4, 3.5, and the same on the other side. So we can go ahead and cut this. Okay, so your first bend is really the one that sets it all off. And the only thing that you need to remember is you want to start your first bend on the outside of that face. So this is the face of your corner. This is the first bend. After that, it literally falls into place. So first bend, 90 degrees. And you just start rolling it forward. Roll it in, push it to your 3/4, go all the way out. Once you get past this, this is where you know it's like, okay, I got this step. Flip it back over, push it all the way in, close it tight, open it again, close it. I'm gonna crimp this closed. And then now we have most of the way done. This is our J pocket here. So we'll bend up our nailing flange. Okay, so that's the one side of your corner. All right, we'll just do the same thing to the other side. I didn't do the, I cut my other flange off. I'll fix it, watch.
All right.
Watch this. Instead of making it go to waste, we'll use it for a freeze board. So we're gonna switch out here.
Totally redeems himself.
Totally redeem yourself.
Ah!
So we're gonna bend this instead now, okay? So we still got the 3.5, and instead we're gonna go with a 7/8 here, and we'll leave the rest for a flange, and there's our belt line. So let's go ahead and mark our 3.5. Oh, it's already there. It's already there. So we'll bend that up 90 degrees. Then you're gonna go in 7/8 on this one. And don't go quite 90. You want to leave a little bit of a room on here, so if any water does sit here, it falls off. So this would be your belt line. Your J string will go up here. I'd cut this a little bit off, of course, but that's the belt line.
Oh, that's still too much waste for big time. I'm not happy.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll figure something out.
Okay.
There you go. That's better. So there's the belt line. So you can totally redeem yourself before you go and have a shit fit and a cry out in the back of your truck. Just figure it out. Okay, so mistakes happen, even to the best of us.
Pipe straps for downspouts.
Pipe straps. There you go. Pipe
I'm
straps.
not even upset anymore. I'm not even upset.
Yeah. Well, you can use everything, right?
Not mad. Not even fucking mad.
Okay. Let's find my pencil. I got candy wrappers in my pocket. All right, let's not forget this shit. Okay, so 2 inches, 3/4, 3/4, 3.5, 3.5, 3/4, 3/4, 2 inches, 1.5 inches for the cut. That's right. That's right. Oh, that's why it's got to be. That's so you got to put the pressure's got to go on the back here, and you got to watch this little fuckers don't cut you. Okay.
Did you get that cider's crack? Did you get that cider's crack?
I didn't even see it.
Oh, I saw it.
Okay.
I'll just put a blanket over the BDR face. Show.
Okay, first bend, most important one. We got that little part there. So that's the face of your corner. This is the actual corner of the corner. This is the corner of the face. So then you're gonna roll it in, get your 3/4. The face of your J. Flip it back over. We'll close this guy all the way now. Crimp her shut. And then we're going to form our pocket. So we're halfway there. We're just form the pocket now. It's 3/4 deep. If you have a break that allows you to do 5/8 and you're working with board and batten, go ahead and do 5/8. Okay, so that's half of your corner. We're just going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll bend it. So I'll just do that kind of quick, just to show you how easy the process is.
The brakes are rocking, don't come a knocking. Every time.
Okay, so that's a corner post. You got your face, you got your nailing flange, and you have room to tuck your siding right in here. So you can, manipulate these measurements a little bit. You can change them to suit the siding that of your needs. But like, this is the basics. So same basics are used for doing a window cap. This will be the face of your window cap. This becomes the jamb. So use all the same things that we showed you there. You just adjust the measurement for your jamb. So that's the basics right there.
Well, that was amazing.
No, the install's where the magic happens. So anybody can figure this bending out. The installing, once you get into that, it's artwork.
So if anyone has any questions at home, leave a comment. Dylan, get in here. Dylan is glad to make comments and respond to people because BDR is really too busy to. So if you have any questions, Dylan will probably give you the wrong answers for those.
I'll respond to every single question.
But there's no guarantee that that'll be the right answer. All right, so you taught the people at home how to bend them, but that's great. But how do I put them together? How do I do stuff with them? Come on, Joe, let's see some fucking...
It's not really that hard, and I will show you.
Please.
There's a couple things you can do. So let's just say that we're going to make a freeze transition. So this is going to be a belt line. So we're going to want to get this inside here. You don't want to miter them together. There's no need for screws or anything like that. It's just a couple simple cuts. So you want to hold that.
Yeah.
And all we got to do is shrink this down a little bit. Just going to take a little bit off our thickness there because we've got 7/8 on that one. And right here with the fold and our 3/4, we're up at 7/8 as well. So you just got to take off a couple small little sections there. And now this will easily fit into your corner post.
Before you fit that, you want to show them close up what you cut off.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so we just had to cut off a little wedge.
Just so
It's just a little tight for it. You want it to slide in nice. These still have to move. Usually if we're doing a dark color like this, what we'll do is we'll drill holes in our nail fin, and that way it has some room for expansion and contraction. So
in the industry, they call that the Dutchman trim, I believe, right, Joe?
the Dutchman.
The Dutchman.
Right, the Dutchman.
Yeah, I see.
Dutchman. Dutchman's the thing. Okay, so that is your belt line. Pretty simple. Same thing goes for freeze if you're going to be doing a top freeze. So, okay, so now we will use this as a freeze. Now this is going to be maybe a Gable trim freeze, or it could be going across the top underneath your eaves up in your soffit. So this will just tuck into your soffit J right there. And a trick, a really good trick on how to hold that in there is all you do is you bend a couple little and you just want to fold this guy in about like that, because your J-trim and your soffit is a 1/2 inch. So once you push this in there, it's going to hook onto that J-trim. You won't be able to get it out. Like once it's in there, it's in there. So and then you fasten it from below. Again, if you're going to go into this, we don't overlap it. Corners go on and everything goes into the corner. You do not want to overlap this. This stuff starts looking busy and you end up with some seams where you don't want them. So all you want to do is cut this straight and get it into our corner slot. the same way that we would do the belt line. So this would go up the corner like this, and your seam would be nice and clean with a hemmed edge. All right.
That's cider pouring right there.
That's how you want to do it. I see guys, I actually have photos of ones that they all go over top, and then there's like 2 screws here, and the guys don't understand, you know, the order operations. And the order operations for me, the best always has been is put your corners on and bring everything into the corner. It makes it nice. And if there's anything that you want to learn how to bend or an easy way to do it, just comment below and we'll do our best to make a video for you.
Like and subscribe.